I can get through tonight, I'm waking up with my wings. There's no way I can sleep my way through a fight and think I'm gonna like what tomorrow brings. Look at my eyes.
Hello friends, Jay-Z here with Flashpoint Radio. It is July 4th, 2012, our Independence Day, the 99th year of our occupation by the international banksters and the globalist elite. In 1913, they set up the Federal Reserve and in turn set up the IRS to suck our productivity and our liberties from us. I thought nothing better on this July 4th than to focus on what we celebrate, the Declaration of Independence. This is not a celebration of the flag. This is not a celebration of our men and women fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq. This is not a celebration of the Star-Spangled Banner or anything else, the presidency, the Congress, the judicial branch. This is a celebration of insurrection, a celebration of terrorism, if you will, a celebration of a small minority of men and women who took it upon themselves to throw off the burdens of a tyrannical government, who took up arms against that tyrannical government. Now, I do not wish to take up arms against my government. We have the foundation to repair this government. We have the foundation already laid. If we just tear down this evil house that has been built around us and start anew, we might be able to save it. I thought I'd just look at some excerpts of the Declaration of Independence to remind you what it is they fought and died for, to remind you what we should celebrate on this July 4th. Not the red, white, and blue. Not some tune that they have drummed into your mind. Not a pledge of allegiance. I pledge no allegiance to a flag. I pledge allegiance to the rights afforded to me by God. And this document lays those out for us. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the bands which have connected them with another. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and property. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. And whenever any forms of governments become destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish and to institute a new government. It is our right to abolish a government that doesn't believe in these principles. It is our duty to do such. And when you hear what they were fighting against, you will realize that it is time to fight again. Experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. Now, those long train of abuses by the King of England. How about this? He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent out hither swarms of officers to harass the people and to eat out their substance. That applies. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. Well, they get around that with the never-ending war on terror. He has effected to render the military independent and superior to the civil power, military-industrial complex, the need for security. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to the acts of pretended legislation? How about international law, Agenda 21, UN doctrine, NATO calling the shots for our military, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us? Well, we saw that last week in St. Louis with armed personnel carriers driving down Highway 40, for protecting them by mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states. Now tell me, is the law doled out in equal portions to those police officers and members of an organization that wears a uniform when they murder someone? Or when a citizen might murder another citizen, or God forbid, someone in uniform? Are the punishments equal? No. For imposing taxes on us without our consent. For depriving us, in many cases, of the benefits of trial by jury. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. Well, what do the MIAC document, numerous Department of Homeland Security documents state? Those that believe in individual liberty, the Constitution, and sovereignty are the enemy, are terrorists, are a danger to this nation. He is, at this time, transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death. They may not be large armies, but NLE 09, National Level Exercise 09 from FEMA, included foreign troops training on the streets of America for civil unrest, of course, to take back to their own countries. But nevertheless, on this soil, Russian troops training at Colorado Springs last month. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. You call your congressman, your senator, and you levy your concerns. You tell them what you think, and you get a form letter back saying, "Thank you for your concern. We are working to protect your rights and your freedoms." Are they? We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, of right, ought to be free and independent states, and they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown or international banksters, globalist organizations. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. How much is liberty worth to you? Is it worth your life? Is it worth your fortune? Is it worth your sacred honor? Are you willing to die for what you believe in? Are you willing to stand up against what is wrong, what is clearly wrong? Or are you reserved to sit back, to hide, to say yes, sir, no, sir, to lick the boots of those that beat you? Are you going to rise up intellectually, go to your town meetings, your city council meetings, and let them know what the public thinks? Or are you going to continue to play the sham game of elections, where two parties control everything, down to city council? You tell me why a national party should have anything to do with St. Louis County Council. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat when it comes to my county council, but in this bastardized version of freedom we have today, it's a two-party dictatorship. They figured out that they couldn't control a free people with one party, with one dictator, that they would have to use simply the government as the mechanism of tyranny. And as long as they can keep their cronies in power continuously, they win. Don't let them win. We can win this battle. We still have fight within us. It's within you. Resistance is victory. It doesn't take violence. It doesn't even take much action. It simply takes standing up and saying no. You cannot do that to me. To a judge, to a police officer, to a city council member, to a congressman, to your senator, to anyone who claims to have power over you. They do not. They do not. You are a free people. Remember that on this July 4th, that you are free from God. And if you do not believe in God, then who gave you your rights? The government? Some other men? Yourself? Then those rights can be taken away. No. My rights were given to me by my Creator, and they will be taken away by my Creator. If you do not stand for your rights, you will fall at the feet of those who take them. Jay-Z signing off saying, God bless. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. And dang it, keep your eyes to the sky.